Oh, okay, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So I hope everyone can hear me. So everyone should have
There's a notification thing.
just click yes.
Hey, got it.
Okay. Okay, so everyone should have their sheets to write on. So we're going to be writing as we're going along. And I hope everyone should have written their names on their sheets. Okay, so let's start. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So this is this session. So let's see if we can get 2 sessions in today. So it's 11:30. We've got 1.5 hours. Let's see how much we can get done. So the first session is very basic. So it's just going to be an introduction to Islam. So when someone asks you about Islam, how do you explain what Islam is? So number one, the course has 2 reasons. So the first purpose is that you yourself understand truly what Islam is, what it means to be a Muslim, how do you explain difficult things to yourself. So you have firm conviction that what you're following is exactly the truth. So the first one is for your own self. So whatever you learn it for your own self and for your own conviction. So that you know that whatever you're following, whatever you're doing is 100% correct. And there's no room for us to be following the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing. And number 2, the second benefit to learning this is so that you can explain to other people. You can explain to non-Muslims, explain to atheists, Christians, and whatever other religions about your religion. So inshallah, you can draw them closer towards understanding what we follow. And then inshallah, maybe you can explain to them why you're a Muslim and why they should become Muslims as well. Yeah. So this is the 2 reasons why we're studying this. So the title is The Right Answers to Confusing Questions About Faith. So the first session will be very simple. It'll just be introduction to what Islam is, and then hopefully we can move on to a second part 2 of this. Okay, so let's start. Okay, something's supposed to happen. There we go. Okay, so this session, like I said, is going to be very simple. So understanding terms such as Islam and Muslim and the roles of messengers. That's it. So half this stuff or all of this stuff you probably will know anyway, but let's say just be a quick recap and just to make sure that before we go into the more difficult stuff, everyone's on the same page. Okay, so let's see. The first keyword is tawheed. So from my class and the other classes who are joining on Zoom, okay, so the teachers can discuss it with their class. So you don't really need to put your hand up or zoom into my session. So the teachers can just discuss it with their class. So what is tawheed? From my class, who knows? Who can tell me what tawheed is? Okay, no more hands? Okay, let's take, go on.
Is it believing in the oneness of Allah?
Good, perfect. Yeah, so the foundation of Islam is upon tawheed. Every single prophet that came down, that Allah sent, they came with the message of tawheed. This is a fundamental, most important belief in Islam. So tawheed means to believe in the one true God. Yeah, so to believe in the one true God. So everyone write that down in your keywords. So on your worksheet, you have defined the meanings of number 1, tawheed. So to believe in the one true God. So the previous prophets that came down, they were not sent to convince the people that God exists, because throughout human history, everyone always believed in God. Maybe there was a marginal, number of individuals who didn't believe in God, but generally the bulk of the human population, everyone all believed in God. That's why if you look in the Quran, generally there's not many arguments to convince the people they should believe in Allah, because everyone already believed in Allah. The arguments were to believe in one God instead of continue, shut that door. Yes, just it. Yeah, so the arguments were to believe in one God. That's why. So all the messengers were sent down. That's why if you look into the messengers as well, they would say worship one Allah. That's what they would say. Not just worship a God, worship one Allah. So that was the problem that humans had, that they, as time went on and they started attributing partners and idols to Allah and started worshipping other beings besides Allah. Okay, so tawheed. Everyone got what tawheed is? Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so now what is Islam? Who can tell me what Islam literally means? Put your hands up. Okay. And like I said before, one sec. Yeah, so like I said before, the teachers can just ask these questions to their students. So what is Islam? God?
Peace.
Okay. Any other answers? So we had peace. Yeah. Submission. Any other answers? Anything else? You don't have to be right, by the way. So whatever you think. Yeah. Any other suggestions? Okay. So peace and submission. Okay, good. If you look at the letters of Islam, it's C. If I was to say in Arabic, it'd be Sin, the S, maybe Lam, the L, and the M. Yeah. One word that you can derive from this is peace, which is like salam. But Islam actually does not actually mean peace. So this is a common mistake that we make. We say that Islam means peace, but it doesn't. Yes, from the root letters, you can make the word peace. So Islam does have something to do with peace. But the word Islam itself actually doesn't mean peace. The word Islam means submission, to submit yourself, to surrender yourself. Like, for example, Allah uses the same word in the Quran. So you can write down in your worksheets, Islam, you can write literally means peace for now. Yeah, so you can write that for the time being. Literally means peace. And then full stop. So we're going to write two things. So Islam literally means peace. So Allah uses the same word in the Quran. For example, Allah talks about Ibrahim alayhi salam. Allah says, إِذْ قَالَ لَهُ رَبُّهُ أَسْلِمْ. So the same word is used, but in a different form. When his Lord said to him, Aslim, surrender, submit. So Allah commanded Ibrahim to submit, using the same word as Islam. Yeah, and then Ibrahim, faqala, he said, Aslamtu li Rabbil Alameen. Aslamtu, this means I have submitted to the Lord of the universe. So the word Islam is used to submit, and that's literally what it means. So when a person becomes a Muslim, what or who have they submitted to? Everyone? Allah. Okay, so Islam is to submit yourself to the will of God. That's what Islam literally is, to submit yourself to the will of God. Okay. Okay, so they should write Islam literally means to submit. I didn't tell anyone to write peace. Did I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Yeah. You should not have written peace. Who wrote peace? Okay, no. Yeah, so don't write peace. Yeah. That was a mistake. I didn't realize I said that. Yeah, so Islam literally means to submit. Yeah. So Islam literally means to submit. Okay. So now, but you know when non-Muslims, they talk about entering in Islam, is that what they're referring to? Entering into submission? No. So when someone says Islam, what they're referring to?
Religion.
Yeah, the religion. So Islam is also the name of this religion, isn't it? Yeah, so write that down as well. Islam is also the name of this religion. So Islam is also the name of this religion. So you've written the literal meaning and the general meaning of Islam. So it's the name of the entire religion. And everyone make sure you're writing properly, yeah? So sometimes I look at students' notes, it's like they just write one word. And when you look back at it after a month, you're not going to have no idea what you've written. So make sure you write properly in proper sentences. So it makes sense. Okay, so we defined what tawheed is and defined what Islam is. So we know that Islam means submission, to submit to the will of God. And also it's the name of the religion, followed by how many Muslims are there in the world?
Like, I don't know, like 2 billion or something.
I know.
Yeah, something like 1 point something or 2 billion, something like that, Muslims. Good. Okay, so next is, how do I switch? Okay, so Islam literally means to submit. Islam is also the name given to the religion, which is followed by Muslims. Okay, who or what is a Muslim? Should be a very, very, very simple question. Go on, Mustafa.
Someone who believes in that there's no God except Allah and the messengers.
Okay, good. Someone that follows which religion?
Islam.
Yeah, someone that follows Islam is called a Muslim. Yeah. Okay, so the word Muslim, can if you look at the same letters, if you look at the S, L, and M, the same root letters are there, aren't there? Yes, to Islam. A Muslim in Arabic is that person who has, if you were to translate the word Muslim literally, it actually means the person who has submitted or the submitter. Yeah. So the person that's doing the action of submitting, you call that person a Muslim. So Muslim is literally someone who has submitted to God. That's the literal definition of Muslim. Someone who has submitted to God. But generally we say someone who follows Islam, because by following Islam, you submitted to God, haven't you? Yeah. So you can write a Muslim is a person who follows Islam, or you can word it however you want. Yeah. So there's no like, you don't have to take my wording. You can word it however you want. So Muslim is a person who follows Islam or submits to God. Okay. And like Mustafa said, to become a Muslim, you have to believe in one God, and you have to believe that the Prophet Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what you have to do to become Muslim. That's why, you know, when, let's say, non-Muslims become a Muslim, they say the Shahada, isn't it? Have you guys seen a person becoming Muslim? Anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So generally, the person will say Ashhadu, and the person will repeat, I testify there's no God apart from Allah, and I testify that Muhammad is servant and messenger. Once you, if you believe that in your heart and you say it with your tongue, then you have become a Muslim. That's all you need to do. You don't actually need to take a bath. You don't need to go to a mosque. You don't need to wear any nice clothes. You don't need to wear a hat looking like this. Yeah. So that's all you need to do. Believe Islam is belief in the heart and then saying it with your tongue. So once you've done that, then you're a Muslim. But let's say if that person, they believe it in their heart and say it with their tongue, but they never pray Salah and they, I don't know, drink alcohol and eat pork, and are they still a Muslim?
Yeah.
Are they still a Muslim?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they still believe in the one God.
Yes, they're still a Muslim. Yes, they may be sinful, but they're still a Muslim. Yeah, so Islam is literally believing in the heart and to say it with the tongue. If you just believe it in your heart, that's not enough. You need to actually say it as well. Okay, how did humans come to know about God and what he wants from us? We're going to be learning about God in our part 2, but this is just something very brief. Yeah. So how did we know about Allah, that he's one, and what Allah wants us to do in this world, Umar?
The Quran.
How did you know about the Quran?
It's been passed down through houses and passed down.
Okay, true. Muhammad, what are you going to say?
Like a messenger.
Yeah, through messengers, isn't it? Okay, so let's say Allah created people on the earth. Yeah, so by natural instinct, we knew that we had to live in this world. So we knew how to clothe ourselves. We learned how to keep warm. We learned how to eat. We learned how to look after children. We learned how to live in a society, and so on and so on. Yeah, but would we naturally know what we're supposed to do in our lives?
No.
We wouldn't naturally know that. It's like, for example, let's say I made a cake. Yeah. So let's say one day I brought in a cake to the class. I'm probably not going to ever, but so one day I brought in a cake I bring a cake to the class, and the cake doesn't say like happy birthday or happy anniversary to Muhammad or something, anything like that. Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't say anything like that. Would you know why I brought in this cake or what I'm celebrating or why I made this cake?
No.
No, you wouldn't. Yeah. So it's either I tell you myself, or I tell someone, oh, by the way, tell the class that this is why I brought the cake, or this is why I made the cake. Likewise, as human beings, we know that Allah created us. Through science, we know how Allah created us. Yeah, science, isn't it? Yeah, the science tells us how Allah made the world and how the things work. But can science tell us why Allah created us or why we were created? No. Yeah. So the science is how. The science tells us how the world was created, how humans are created. And in order to know why we were created, we need Allah to tell us this. And how does Allah tell us this? He sends what? Messengers. Okay. So the messenger's job is to teach us what Allah. So number one is who Allah is, that only Allah deserves to be worshipped. Okay. So the job of the messengers was to teach us, number one, that to worship and believe in the one true God. That's the first purpose. And then after that, after we believed in God, can we just live our lives however we want?
No.
No, we can't. Okay, so then we need to know what Allah wants from us. So under why did God send messengers, just write these two reasons. To teach us about the one true God. So there's a question, why did God send messengers? To teach us about the one true God. And number two, to teach us what he wants from us or how to live our lives. So this is the general function of the messengers. Two things. First comes belief in one God, And then after that, what do we do with our lives? What does Allah want from us? How do you define what a messenger is? Someone asked, what's a messenger?
Would be
Okay. Anything else?
would be like a person who Allah sent down to send a message to humanity.
Yeah. Okay. So both correct answers. So I'm just looking for the best way to word it. So you can write someone given a message. Someone given a message to give to the people. Yeah. That's what messenger is, isn't it? Someone given a message to give to the people. So on the key terms, so it's a number 4 messenger. Someone given a message to give to the people. Yeah, so the prophets are given revelation, isn't it? Yeah, so that's their message. And then they have to go and tell the people what the message is. It's like a postman. He's a messenger, isn't it? Yeah. So say I write a letter to someone, I'm going to give it to the postman, and he's my messenger, isn't it? To the other person. Mustafa, you're awake? Okay. Yeah. Good luck staring into space. Oh, okay. Okay, how many messengers did God send?
Over 250,000 or from like 200 or something.
Okay, any other answers? Yep. Okay, any other answers?
Oh yeah, about 4,000.
Okay. Did you just forget your own answer? Okay. Okay. So remember, in our course book, we learned the distinction, the difference between a prophet, a Nabi, and a Rasul, messenger. So Rasul translates to messenger, Nabi translates to prophet. Who remembers the difference? Yeah.
A Nabi has either a book, a new law, or a vision.
Specific task.
A specific task, and then Rasul just follows.
No, Nabi just follows the previous Rasul.
Yeah.
Okay, good, perfect. Yeah. So a Nabi is a prophet. That's someone that's been divinely inspired by Allah, and they've been given the task of spreading the religion or teaching the people about Islam and what Allah wants. Yeah. So Nabi is like the general one. One category above that is what we call a Rasul, a messenger, and they've been given a specific task. Either they've either been given new laws or a book or something like that. Yeah, so they're one level above. Yeah, but when I say messengers here, I'm just referring to general prophets, people that were given revelation or people that were inspired by Allah to propagate the religion. So there are approximately either 100,000 or 124,000 prophets that were sent into the world. Yeah, just make a note of that anywhere in the sheet. It's about 100,000, 124,000. Or you can write, when it says write some examples of previous messengers. Yeah, on the next paragraph. You can write it there. So there were 100,000 or 124,000 prophets. And out of them, in terms of who were actual messengers, there were 300 or so, roughly 300 who were actual messengers that were given specific tasks, laws, or books. So they're like one level above the prophets, normal prophets. And go on, Irfan, tell me some messengers of the past or prophets of the past. Isa. Okay, here, I want you, just for today, I want you to use the biblical names. So what's Isa in the Bible? Okay, Jesus, yeah. Jesus, Moses, yeah. David, Adam. God, any others?
Abraham.
Biblical. Okay, Abraham, yeah. Okay, write these down as you go along. Yeah, so you can write some examples. So you got first prophet was Adam. Then you got, what's the next messenger after him? Yeah, okay, ignore Idris for now. Noah, yeah. So Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus. Yeah, so as a Muslim, you should be able to quote their names very easily. Especially because this course is designed to help you talk to non-Muslims about Islam. So you should, generally, when you're talking to non-Muslims, you want to identify with them a bit more, isn't it? So if you just say the biblical names, they're already used to that. So why not just use these names? Yeah. So Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Yeah.
Solomon, like
Solomon. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's
Sounds like someone from a game.
Zechariah.
Okay, but anyway, yeah. So as long as you can quote a few, then that's fine.
Yeah, Zechariah.
That's just that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so and the purpose of knowing this is the first. So when you're talking to non-Muslims about Islam, especially if generally all non-Muslims, they have a background about Christianity and prophets generally, because obviously we used to live in a Christian world. Now obviously atheism is taking over, but generally it was more of a Christian world. So they'll identify with these prophets. So when you talk about Islam, you're trying to show that we're not so different to the Christians and the Jews, isn't it? Or the other world religions. That's why when you talk about Islam, you just identify with themselves a bit more. So this and so the prophets that we believe in. Yeah, because sometimes you tell the non-Muslims that you actually believe in Jesus, they're shocked. They're like, oh, you guys believe in Jesus? I thought you believed in a man named Muhammad or something. Yeah. So they become shocked that we actually believe in these messengers. Okay, so there's one question in your worksheet. How do you become a Muslim? We've already answered that, haven't we? Yeah, just write that in, just fill it in. So you have to believe that there is one God and that Muhammad is the last messenger, and then say it with your tongue. Yeah, so how do you become a Muslim? You have to believe that there is one God and that Muhammad is his final messenger, and then say it. Okay, and if there's any questions from other classes, so you can just put your hands up or write it on the chat, or so you can ask your teacher and the teacher will either put in the chat or put the hand up. Okay, so let's look at the next section on our worksheets. So far we've understood the foundation of Islam is tawheed. We've understood what Islam literally means. What does Islam literally mean? To everyone?
Submit.
To submit. And Islam is also the name of this religion. And we understand that a Muslim is a person that submits to Allah, meaning basically someone that follows the religion of Islam. And we've understood what a messenger is and why Allah sent messengers. Okay, so why did Allah send messengers, Irfan?
To teach us about God.
And? Okay, good. What Allah wants from us, to teach us who Allah is and what He wants from us. That's the function of the messengers. Yeah. Tafsir also function of the messengers.
To teach us about the one true God and how to live our life.
Okay. Yeah. And Mohis, give me some examples of previous messengers.
Okay. Adam, Noah, Abraham, Lot, Jesus, Isaac, Ishmael, John, Joseph, David.
Did you just go to Bible class by the chance? You said them so fluently.
Nah, I actually did back in Oregon.
Oh.
I went to a Catholic school, so.
Okay. You've stopped going to Sunday mass, yeah? Okay. I can see the chat. Okay, no, you don't. When you become a Muslim, you don't have to say it in front of any witnesses. No. Okay, so let's continue now. So we've understood basics: Tawheed, Islam, Muslim, Messenger, and why Allah sent messengers. Okay. So now next question is, how do you? Okay, no, we've already done that. How do you become Muslim? That's fine. Okay. So messengers always taught the people. So looking at your next paragraph, the people something and something. The beliefs that all messengers taught were the same, but the something they taught would differ. What do you think goes in the blanks? What do you think? Messengers always taught the people. Good. In a broader category, what does that fall under? Beliefs. Okay, good. So I want you to write that down in the first blank. So messengers always taught the people beliefs, and after believing, what's the most important thing in order to live your life? What does that fall under? How do you know how to worship? Yeah. What's the Arabic word, English word for fiqh?
That's the law.
Laws. Yeah. So beliefs and laws. So you can categorize or summarize what the message is actually taught with 2 words. Number 1, they came to teach beliefs, and number 2, they came to teach laws. That covers our whole everything, isn't it? Yeah, is what you believe in, and laws covers everything that you need to do, isn't it? Laws of worship, laws of wudu, laws of cleanliness, laws of zakat, hajj, and everything else. Laws of rights of others, rights of the parents, rights of the society, laws of punishment. Everything falls under these 2, isn't it? Beliefs and laws. Yeah. The beliefs that all messages taught were the same. Is that correct?
Yes.
Or is there a mistake here?
No, the beliefs.
Yeah.
Beliefs are the
Oh
same.
wait, no, it was the beliefs stayed the same. It was the laws that changed.
Okay, this is something very important. Everyone has to be able to understand this and then be able to articulate it as well. So imagine Adam. So all the different prophets came here over hundreds and thousands of years. Yeah. So Adam, and then Abraham, and then Jesus, Moses. So Moses, Jesus, and then Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam at the end. May peace be upon all of them. So the beliefs that they taught, they were exactly the same. Okay. So they taught the people about the one Allah is. They were taught exactly the same beliefs, because has Allah changed over time?
No.
No. There wasn't 3 gods before, now it's turned into 1, or there wasn't, so Allah wasn't young before, now he's older, now he's different now. Yeah. So Allah was exactly the same from the beginning, and Allah will always remain the same. So the way that they must have described Allah would have been the same, isn't it? The way that Adam taught who Allah was, or Abraham, or Jesus, or Moses, they were taught exactly the same thing. Yeah. So Allah is one, and with all these qualities and attributes. And let's say Jannah and Jahannam, has that changed over time? No, that hasn't happened yet. Or what other beliefs are there? So tell me anything else to do with beliefs?
That hasn't changed.
No, just beliefs. What do Muslims believe in? What falls under this category?
Angels. The devil.
Angels, devil, shaitan. Who else?
Destiny.
Destiny. Yep, we believe in destiny.
The books.
Okay, the books is true, but that's like obviously that will reveal over time, isn't it? Jinns, fair enough, yeah.
Life after death.
Life after everything to life after death. Specifically, what's the first stage of the life after death?
Judgment Day. Wait, no.
Judgment Day is there before the Judgment Day.
Grave.
The grave. Yes, life of the grave, the Judgment Day. Yeah, so all of these things are to do with beliefs, and every messenger taught their people about these beliefs, and they're all the same because obviously these beliefs do not change. Even every messenger even taught their people about Dajjal. Even the person will come, will be the one-eyed liar.
Isn't it the Antichrist?
Yeah. Okay, so we're on the second side now of your sheet. So what are the foundational beliefs in Islam? What are the foundational acts of worship? So here, if you go back to, the 6, some say 6 or some say 7, doesn't really make a difference how you say it. We know the articles of faith, 6 articles of faith, or 7. So it starts off with Allah. So write this down as you're going along. So these are the articles of faith that generally all messengers they taught. So Allah.
Messengers.
Okay, to believe in the previous messengers, just write messengers to believe. That falls under beliefs.
Angels.
Angels. Yeah, you can write books down. Fate, to believe in fate. Everything is from Allah. Life after death. Yeah, but you can, and after life after death, you can just specify a few things like the grave, life of the grave, day of judgment, heaven and hell. Yeah, so you should have a few more than 7 because you're specifying the last one. So write heaven and hell, or you can start going in order if you want. Life of the grave, day of judgment, heaven and hell. Okay, it's finished. Okay, so those are finished. Quick question, Muhammad, what does Islam literally mean?
Islam literally means submission.
Good. And it's also,
Peace. No.
what's the second thing you write down? Islam is also?
Religion of Islam.
Oh, the name of the religion.
Name of the religion. Yeah. So two things you need to say about Islam. Islam literally means peace, and it's also the name of the religion. Omer, why did Allah send messengers? And everyone else who happens finished, just keep writing, yeah?
To teach us how to live and also to teach us the oneness of Allah.
Okay, which one's more important?
Oneness of Allah.
Yeah, so say that one first, yeah? So to teach us to believe in Allah, after you believe in Allah, then comes everything else, isn't it? Yeah, so then teach us how to live our lives, what Allah wants from us, why He created us, and so on. Okay, and Mustafa, without looking at sheets, what's tawheed?
Believing in the one true God.
Good, perfect. To believe in one Allah, one true God. Okay, and Alif, prophets taught two things. What were they?
Beliefs and laws.
Beliefs and laws. And the beliefs always, finish my sentence, the beliefs always stayed the same. And the laws would change. Okay, now, okay, so after we've written the beliefs, now the next task is to write give me some examples of laws that could be different from messenger to messenger. Give me some laws regarding, I just want, sometimes when I say laws, like some students will be like, what do you mean by laws? So I just want some examples so that everyone knows what we mean by laws. Give me some examples. Good. So laws of praying to Allah. What else? Laws regarding food, which is what's halal, what's haram. So write these examples down. Yes, Irfan? Right, talk about laws, rules. What do you mean by that?
Like which book to read? I don't know.
Yeah, so laws are to do with practical things that we physically do, yeah? In terms of obeying, yeah? Okay, good. Laws of purity. And they were different from messenger to messenger. So the laws of cleanliness.
Where should they write it?
On the second side. Haven't you guys seen it?
Yep. We have seen it. Is it the second question?
No, the first question, what are the foundational beliefs in
Okay.
Islam and what are the foundational acts of worship? We're doing part 2 of that, isn't it? Acts of worship.
Okay.
Actually, the question should have been worded a bit differently. I'll change it after. Okay, so laws of purity, laws of prayer. What else? What else could have been different?
Punishments.
Yeah, laws of punishments. Okay. So now the question is Islam a new religion which did not exist before the Prophet Muhammad? Is Islam, okay, a new religion? What I'm going to do, I'm going to pause this here. And I just want to discuss it with the person next to you. Okay, so what's your guys' answer? Is Islam a new religion?
No.
No. Anyone disagree? Okay, so then how do you explain that then? Okay, so if Islam isn't a new religion, then why do we do so much differently? Muslims are obviously very different to the other Christians and Jews. Then yes, Alif?
Because like people basically originally everyone used to follow it, but then they decided to do other things and go away from.
Oh, everyone used to do the same thing. So Christians would pray 5 times a day, have
No,
a beard
no,
like
like-
us, wear a topi, go to the mosque, but then they just stopped.
No,
Why
that's
did
the thing. Yeah, they all got the same message.
What do you mean by that? Got the
As in,
same.
they all got
message.
told to like believe in like one God and.
Who's they all? You're using pronouns without.
The Christians, like the Christians and the Jews, that they all got told to believe in one God.
Okay, so you're saying the previous messengers taught the people to believe in one God.
Yeah,
What else are you saying?
I'm saying. Move on.
No, continue. You're on my line. I'm just trying to get you to word it correctly. That's fine.
So they all got told to believe in one God by their messenger, but when they were
Is that all they were taught in terms of beliefs?
No, no,
Well,
no.
just give a few examples so we all understand.
heaven and hell and the devil, Antichrist, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all got taught to believe in that. And as time went on, they started to change up the things they were doing, I guess. And did
Okay, I'm gonna stop you there. Who can continue on from us? Yes, Mustafa?
Also, these people from like religions like Christians, they twisted like their religions, like they believe that Jesus or Isa was like the son of God. So they twisted the laws and beliefs of their religion.
Okay, that's true. They're missing one very, very important thing. Yes, Mohez?
Okay, I think it's important to address that. Initially, like Islam does mean submission to the one God. So as long as you do submit to the one God, then like you are Muslim. So like, and this concept of submitting to the one God was throughout history like believed, but eventually made, like Christianity, for example, they eventually made like the Trinity. So it wasn't the same as Islam anymore. But the initial belief was to believe in one God. So I guess you could say, since that's been prevalent since throughout history, then Islam has been existing since the beginning.
Okay. Okay, but there's still one very, very important thing that's missing, which doesn't explain. Okay, so when you answer this question, you have to explain two things. One is that all of you guys mentioned, which is the beliefs, yeah? So the beliefs that all the prophets taught from Adam to Muhammad, was exactly the same. Is that correct? Yeah. So from the perspective of beliefs, so Islam is not a new religion. It's the continuation of the old religions, isn't it? Yeah. It's the continuation of the old religion. But what was different with Muhammad than the previous prophets? What was different, everyone?
The laws.
The laws. Yeah, no one explained that, did they? Yeah. So that's what throws people off. When non-Muslims think about Islam, they think it's a new religion. Why? Are they talking about the beliefs or talking about the laws? The laws. Yeah. So that's what we have to make them understand. That laws from messenger to messenger differed, but they passed on the same message. Does that make sense, everyone? Yeah. So Islam is not a new religion, but it's a continuation of the previous religion. But messengers were given different laws. Okay. So, okay. At the end of your sheet, there's no, in the blank space, on the blank space, Umar, pay attention. On the blank space, but there should have been lines for this. Just write this down. Islam is not a new religion, but a continuation of the religion of Adam to Muhammad, religion of Adam, and we'll give a few examples. So I'm just going to write this down as well. Islam is not a new religion, but a continuation of you can write beliefs, you can say if you want, beliefs of Adam, Noah, Muhammad, Abraham, etc. So Islam is not a new religion, but a continuation of the beliefs of Adam, Noah, Abraham, etc. And then you can just add in, except that messengers would be given different laws. Except that the messengers would be given different laws. Okay, so just to recap, so the messengers were given two things, beliefs and laws. And beliefs that all the prophets taught from Adam, Noah, Abraham, all the way till Muhammad was the same. They taught the people about the one true God, heaven, hell, death, judgment, etc., etc. And the laws that the messengers were given would differ from time to time. The laws are required to be different to suit the time that people are living in. So now the question is, okay, why did Allah send different laws then? Why didn't Allah just send the same laws so that everyone's following the same thing all the time? So this is just a practical question, or just it's just a logical thing. So let's say the UK, the laws that we have in the UK, is that the same as the laws 100 years ago?
No.
No. So why did they change? Yeah, so when the people change, the laws need to be adjusted slightly to suit the time, isn't it? Yeah. So imagine if the UK had to follow the same laws for 1,000 years, our lives would be very, very difficult, isn't it? That's why Allah sends messengers when the time changes and people are different, and there needs to be new laws to suit the time. So Allah changes the law slightly to adapt to the new situation. So if you look at the second question, why did laws change from messenger to messenger? Why didn't God just keep the same rule for all times? Yeah, so just answer that question. So on the second question of the sheet, so laws changed to suit the times. On the second question. On the second question, why did laws change? So the laws would change from messenger to messenger to suit the times that they were living in. To suit the times they were living in. To suit the times they were living in. So the laws would change from messenger to messenger to suit the times they were living in. And you can just add in to make things easier for people. To make things easier for people. Okay, so let's look at this again. So therefore, we can understand that Islam is not a new religion, but rather it is the continuation of the religion of Adam, Abraham, and Jesus. The only difference is that the laws given to Muhammad were slightly different due to the current times. Okay, that needs to be changed slightly. Okay, any questions on this, by the way? Any questions on anything that we've done so far? Okay, so I'm going to give you 30 seconds to answer this question to the person next to you. Yeah, so is Islam a new religion? Or not. So just to make sure that we will answer properly. So just explain to the person next to you in about 30 seconds. So everyone has to have a turn of explaining. Got it. Okay, so all the classes can come back and start focusing again. Yeah, so when you explain this to a non-Muslim, the more examples that you give, the better your explanation will be. So remember, the purpose of explaining this stuff to them is so that you incline them towards Islam. So they think, you know what, it actually makes sense. Yeah. So that will happen when you explain things with examples. So when you say the beliefs were the same, don't just stop at that. Say the beliefs were the same. For example, all prophets taught to believe in God. They taught heaven and hell. They taught the day of judgment. They taught the purpose of our lives, etc., etc. So give loads of examples. And then you say that the laws were different and give examples. How to pray, how many times to pray, laws of cleanliness, and so on and so on. And then you say the reason why the laws were different is because to suit the times, to make things easier for people. Yeah, so then that would make perfect sense. But if you just say a very brief, vague statements, then your explanation isn't going to help anyone. Everyone got that?
Yes.
Okay, so good. So we've all had the chance of explaining to the person next to us this answer, and I'm gonna go. Muhiz, remember, control yourself. Okay. Okay, now everyone be sensible, please. Leave that there, just leave it there. Okay, so what you need to do next is you're gonna role play this with the person next to you. So this is a script. So a teacher will ask, so one person is gonna be a teacher. So you're imagining that someone is asking you who has no idea what Islam is, or let's just assume they don't believe in God. That person who's asking you, who's older maybe, so they don't believe in God, they have no idea what Islam is, or what Muslimics are, and what the Sharon law is, or anything like that. Yeah, yeah. So they have no idea about Islam, and so your job here is to explain Islam in such a way that it makes perfect sense to them, and they leave the conversation thinking, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. I want to find out more about Islam. And that will only happen, number one, you need confidence. So if you're like, Islam is, probably, yeah, they're gonna, when you talk to someone, they can feel your confidence. If you're not confident in what you're saying, then they're not going to be confident in what you're saying. So number one, you need confidence. Number two, you need the right knowledge, which is basically what's on your should be on the sheets. So everything I need to explain is on your sheets, and hopefully it should be in your minds right now as well. Yeah, so we should freshen your minds. So you need confidence, I need knowledge. Number three, when with that knowledge, it's not enough for it to be in your head. You can have all the perfect answers in your head, but if you don't know how to explain it properly, it's going to be no good. Yeah. So yes, it'll be enough for yourself, but not to effectively invite other people towards Islam. So you need to be able to explain it well. And what's the key thing to explaining it well? What do you need to use a lot? Examples. Give a lot of examples. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause. I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes. So you're going to role play this with the person next to you. And then the teacher in the class will pick a few people to practice this role play with. Yeah. So everyone make sure you know. So the teacher meaning me. Yeah. So I'm going to pick 1 or 2 people to do the role play with. Yeah. And likewise, other classes, the teacher will pick 1 or 2 people to do the role play with. Yes. But after you've had about 5 minutes of practice. So I'm going to pause it now and go on. You can start. And when one person's finished, yeah, so then you switch roles. The other person becomes a teacher, and the other person, everyone has to have turn explaining all these questions, yeah? Just 1 sec. Okay, so if all the classes can bring your attention again to the screen or to me, and we'll practice a bit of this role play. So then, inshallah, this will help build us confidence. So if you remember, this is training ground, yeah? And the real life is outside. Yeah, so the more practice you get here, the better it'll be when you go outside. Then inshallah, you can have good conversations about Islam, meaningful conversations with your friends, with people, that ask you, with your teachers, with non-Muslims, and whoever. Yeah. So volunteer Muhiz, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine you're talking to a person who has no idea about Islam, doesn't know anything at all. Perhaps he's an atheist, he doesn't even probably believe in God, or anyone basically, yeah? Yeah, so everyone focusing looking at me, Muhiz?
Yeah.
No, Muhiz. Okay, so let's say you're in a classroom situation at school, and the teacher says, if you're a Muslim, put your hands up.
Huh? Oh.
Okay. So good. So you guys are Muslims. Okay, let me just ask one of you guys just to find out a bit more about religion. So Muhiz, you're a Muslim, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so which religion do you follow?
I follow the religion of Islam.
Okay, interesting. I've heard of that before. What is Islam?
Well, Islam is essentially a submission to the one and only God, and we call him Allah. Other religions will call him different names.
Okay, good. Is that okay? Anything just a bit more detail about Islam, just so I know, like, what do you mean by submit? Like, what are you entering into? Like, what are the foundations, main things of Islam?
Well, so when we submit to Allah, we are essentially submitting to the his laws. Like, for example, like we will pray 5 times a day. We will believe in him, in his messengers and his angels, the day of judgment, life after death, stuff like that.
Okay, good. So what do you need to do to become a Muslim? Do you need to sign something sign a paper or something? What do you do?
No, well, all you have to do, you need to believe that there is no God except Allah, and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger, and you need to say that physically say it.
Okay, good. Actually, can you come over here just so that everyone can hear you properly? Because the microphone's here.
Cool.
And if there's any other issues from other classes listening in, then please make sure you write in the chat, yeah? So we can solve that. Just come a bit more. Okay, so all you need to do is believe in your heart and say that you believe in God, yeah? And believe in Muhammad. Then you're a Muslim. Okay, so how many messengers do you believe in?
Well, we believe in, you could say all of them. We believe in Adam. Well, we believe in the same messengers as the Christians and Jews. Jesus, Abraham, Moses, David, Noah, whatever one you can name, we believe in them.
So why did God send messengers?
Why did he send messengers? Well, God sent messengers so that they could guide us to the straight path, which is to believe in that one God and to submit to him and to obey him.
Okay, so God sent many messengers and they all brought the message of God. So why didn't Muhammad start his own religion?
Well, it's actually a continuation of the previous beliefs of the different prophets. For example, well, Abraham, like Moses, they would preach towards the belief in one God, and they would obey that one God. Similarly, Muhammad, he would also, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, would preach towards submitting to that one God. So it's not really a different religion. It's actually a continuation.
Remember, give me examples of the beliefs. Remember the beliefs were the same? Yeah, so give me examples of that.
So beliefs that were the same, that were, well, we believe in life after death, heaven and hell, day of judgment, the angels, and that there is one God. So those are examples of beliefs that we have in common. The only thing that would actually differ is the fact that there were, over time, different messengers, they would be given different laws to suit the times of their people. For example, Christians, they fast in Lent, but Muslims, we fast in Ramadan. That's different. So, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so that explains a lot of things. That's why Muslims are different to Christians in terms of our laws, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. And okay, so one thing that's confusing me is, okay, so what, instead of, can God talk to us directly? Is God powerful enough to do that?
I mean, yes, he can.
But why doesn't he then? Wouldn't he just make everyone's life so much easier if God just came out of the sky? You know how you have these films, God, like some white man comes out from the sky and with long hair, yeah, and he makes an announcement that I'm God. Why does that happen in real life?
Well, in the reality of our world is that our life is a test, and if God were to just come to us and tell us, "Oh yeah, I'm God, so worship me," by the way, that would be too easy. It would hardly be a test. It's like, the teacher gives you all the answers for a test. It's like, there's no point even doing it in the first place, and he might as well just put us in heaven, but he didn't. He decided to put us on this earth so that we could find our way to him, and he sent messengers instead. He told them so that they could tell us what to believe in, and we could be given, and he gave us the free will to choose whether or not to accept them or reject them.
Okay, so you're saying the purpose of this life is a
Test.
Okay, so if God just spoke to us directly and showed himself, there wouldn't be a test. So hence, there wouldn't really be a purpose of creating this world. Yeah, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, does that make sense with everyone? Okay, makes sense. Okay, so and you've already told me that about the religion that all the different messengers taught, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so would that leave me understanding a lot more about Islam, everyone?
Yeah.
Would you rate Muhiz's performance out of 10?
Yeah. Give me like
100%. 0.
Love you, man.
Well,
Okay. Okay, mashallah, very good. Good stuff. Muhiz. Good stuff. Yeah? Yeah, so that would leave a person really understanding where Islam comes from, isn't it? Yeah? It's very good. Yeah? So if you're going to have a conversation like this with non-Muslims, it'd be very good. You leave them towards inclining towards Islam, and they'll actually know what Islam is about, at least the foundations of Islam. So if they want to do their research after this, then they can. Okay, so one person, let's see how much time we have. Okay, we'll take this next to very quickly, inshallah. One person from Ustad Mehdi's class. Just let me know when you're ready. You can unmute. Anyone?
Yes, inshallah, our dearest Ifraz will answer on our behalf, inshallah.
Okay, Ifraz. Okay, so Ifraz, are you a Muslim?
Yes.
Okay, are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, which religion do you follow?
Islam.
Okay, that's interesting. What's Islam, Ifraz?
Islam is basically the one true religion and the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay, Ifraz, are you sitting very close to the laptop?
Just come here.
No.
Yeah, just come here.
Okay, so let me know when you're ready.
Yep.
Okay, so Ifraz, just to start again because we couldn't hear you clearly. So, what is Islam that you said you follow?
Islam is the one true religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it means to submit to Allah.
Okay, so Islam means to submit to Allah. And then how do you enter into Islam? Like, how do you become a Muslim?
To become a Muslim, you have to believe in the one true God Allah and Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and you have to say with your tongue as well.
Okay, so you have to believe in one God, and you have to believe in Muhammad as the prophet, then you're a Muslim. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's quite easy. Do I need to sign anything, any papers?
No.
Okay. Do I need to wear a funny hat?
No.
Okay. So did God send many messengers throughout history?
Yes.
Why did he send messengers?
Because in wait, no.
Say that again for us. Why did
Can you repeat the question, please?
why did God send messengers?
So it's to teach us about the end and how to live our lives.
Okay, so the God sent messengers. The messenger teaches us what God wants from us. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the most important thing every messenger taught? The first most important thing.
To believe in Allah.
Okay, good. So God sent messengers to teach us that we should worship him and obey him, believe in him, and how to live our lives. And who was the last messenger?
Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Okay, so why did Muhammad decide to start his own religion all of a sudden?
Because Islam is a continuation of beliefs from the previous messengers and but it changes the laws, not the beliefs. The beliefs stay the same.
Oh, okay, so Islam is not a new religion, it's actually an old religion. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Just one, okay. So all the messengers, they had the same religion, just they had different laws. And I'm just wondering, we haven't covered this, by the way, in our session, but I'm just wondering, why didn't God talk to us directly? Why did he send messengers instead for us?
Because basically, if he would tell us about Islam, then like most of us would do it, because the reason most people don't is because they don't know if there actually is one true God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's kind of a test.
Okay, so because he wanted to test us. Okay, and then to see who deserves to go to heaven and hell. Okay, good, perfect, Ifraz. Jazakallah khairan for volunteering. Okay, and you guys can mute your mics. Jazakallah khairan, that's perfect. And someone from Ustad Zulfa's class, if you can just unmute your mic, and if you can have a volunteer from there and just sit very close to the laptop.
It's Sakina from our class.
Okay, mashallah. So Sakina, you're a Muslim?
Yeah,
Okay. So which religion do you follow?
Islam.
Okay, so what is Islam? Can you tell me?
Basically, Islam means to submit to the one Allah, and is also the religion of that Muslims follow.
Okay, so can you tell me, I'm just going to divert from the script a bit as well. So can you tell me what is Islam? So in terms of like the main things about Islam.
Basically, there are 7 articles of faith, which are like to believe in the one Allah, to believe in the angels, to believe in the day of judgment, to believe in the messengers and the books and destiny, which are the main 6 beliefs about Islam.
Okay, so as long as I believe in them, I'm a Muslim.
And there are also laws and other practices that we have.
Okay. So Islam is all those things. Good. So what do I do to become a Muslim then?
Wait, I have more to say. There are also different prophets that we also believe in, and messengers.
Okay, good. Okay, so you've told me a bit of background about Islam. So let's say let's say my mate Dave, yeah, he wants to become a Muslim. How would Dave become a Muslim?
They would have to believe in the one Allah, and he would also have to believe that Muhammad is the final messenger. And to do that, he has to believe in his heart and say it out loud.
Okay, so okay, that's quite easy. So you don't have to sign any papers or anything. Good. And okay, so you've told me that Muslims believe in many messengers. How many messengers?
About 100,000 messengers.
Okay, so why did God send messengers?
God sent messengers to teach us about Islam and the one true God, and to also lead us onto the straight path. And he also sent messengers to help us know what to do in our lives.
Okay, good, interesting, that makes sense. And out of the messengers, who was the last messenger?
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay, so why did Muhammad, okay, so Muhammad started a new religion when he came, is that correct?
No, he basically, Islam is a continuation from the other religions, from the previous religions, for example, from like the religion of Adam, Solomon and Lot. But what he did was he had different laws because the laws changed from time to time. For example, they still had the same beliefs, like belief in Allah, messengers, the angels, book, destiny, but the laws are different. For example, laws of prayer, purity, and punishment, and so on.
Okay, okay, we'll finish there. That was perfect, mashallah, Sakina. So you mentioned, so you explained everything very well, and you mentioned a lot of examples. Yes, remember the key to all of this is mentioning a lot of examples so the other person will understand. Okay, Jazakallah khairan for that, Sakina. Well done. Okay, so before we finish off, on our sheets, there's one more question left. So I didn't really tell you what to write down for that. So I just want you to answer. Actually, wait. You know the answer for the last question, why did God reveal different religions such as Christianity and Judaism? Has that been answered in your last paragraph that you wrote at the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even realize that. Okay, but okay. So following on from your last question, you know where I told when you wrote down Islam is not a new religion, but the continuation of the beliefs of Adam, Noah, and Abraham, etc. Yeah. So just add to that about Christianity and Judaism. So let's start with likewise. So likewise, the beliefs in Christianity and Judaism were the same. Okay, so in your last paragraph, just adding, likewise, the beliefs in Christianity and Judaism were the same, but the laws were different. Likewise, the beliefs in Christianity and Judaism were the same, but the laws were different. So likewise, the beliefs in Christianity and Judaism were the same, but the laws were different. Okay, and then there's an additional point. As Muslims, what do we believe about the previous books, Bible and the Torah? Yes, so that's another important, when you refer to other revealed books, that's the point that we need to make as well. And right also, so maybe a new paragraph, right also, we believe that the Bible and the Torah were changed. Also, we believe that the Bible and Torah were changed. So the message was corrupted. Anything? Also, we believe that the Bible and Torah were changed, so the message was corrupted. Okay, so that's why. So the short answer to this is, so yes or no, did God reveal different religions such as Christianity and Judaism? No. Okay, they all taught the same thing, except that the laws were different. Except we also understand as a secondary thing, as a second point, that another reason why Allah needed to send a new book is because we believe that the previous books were changed, isn't it? And they were corrupted. So hence the beliefs were changed. That's why one God turned into how many gods in Christianity?
3 and 1.
Yeah, 3 gods. That's we believe that this is incorrect. Although does that mean we disrespect the Christians?
No.
No. So we differ with other religions. So we have to make this very important point that we can differ with people, we can have different beliefs, but we can still respect them. That's why even in the Quran, Allah gives so much respect to the Christians. Yeah. more respect. He gives them a lot of respect. Even the Jews in the Quran as well. Allah gives them a lot of respect. Allah calls them the people of the book. Yeah, although they disbelieved in Allah and the Prophet Muhammad, but Allah gives them respect. Likewise, we can differ with Christians and Jews and other people of other faiths, but we maintain that utmost respect. Yeah, everyone understood that? Any other questions before we conclude? Or from any other classes? If there's not, we will conclude. Okay, so we'll finish there and everyone can pack up.